Welcome to the Great Mohaw's YouTube channel, where Mohow explores everything science and technology.
Hey, Tech Talkers. Welcome back to Tech Talk Weekly with a computer science major. I'm your host, the great Mohau, and I have a special guest for you guys today, Lindiwe Mtshengu. And Lindiwe is an aspiring tech professional, currently transitioning from software development into client-side roles, right? She also shares my computer science background, so we have a lot to explore together. Welcome, Lindiwe.
Thank you, Mohau. I'm honored for having me as a guest.
Thank you. Can you please maybe just, give the viewers a little bit of introduction of yourself, although I have already mentioned a few things.
Yeah, all right, no problem. I'm Lindiwe Mtshengu. I'm originally from Northwestern Klerksdorp. I was also in Mafikeng at some point, born in Rustenburg. So all over Northwest, that's my home. And I'm a 24-year-old technical business analyst. And as Mohau mentioned, we do share a similar course, which is computer science. So I did a BSc in computer science and statistics. That is me.
Yeah, and you also did it at Northwest University, right?
Yes, I did it at the Northwest University at the Porch campus. That's my home.
Oh, okay. No, that's
Yeah.
great. Eagles all the way. Eagles all the
Please,
way.
come on. You know
Yeah.
it.
Okay. Now, transitioning roles in tech can be challenging, right? But before we can basically dwell into the transitioning part of it, which programming languages did you learn to code in on your own? This is like outside university, right? The ones that you were taught at university.
Okay. Not the ones at varsity. The ones
Yeah,
I did after that or before that. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
It's only after that when I started getting a job that I was like, oh, we actually have a couple of languages outside of the ones that we were taught in varsity. So because I got introduced to development officially when I was working in terms of like this full stack development, there's full stack development which comprises of front end and back end. I got to learn of the back end languages like C sharp and whatnot. I did C++, plus plus, so I had to learn C sharp quickly, but it's technically the same thing. And then for front end, I didn't do HTML in varsity. I didn't do JavaScript, so I had to quickly hop onto HTML, JavaScript, jQuery, Bootstrap,
Yeah.
Razor, and all of the sorts. So yeah, those are the languages that I had to actually make a plan of learning as soon as possible because I was working with them outside of university. And yeah, I think university itself was just a theoretical introduction into programming. Yes, it teaches you a lot, but it teaches you just the foundations. You can get deep into it depending how far you go into it, but it really does give you that foundation in terms of programming, and it's up to you how far you take it. But
No,
yeah, that's what I learned.
okay. Nah, that's
Yeah.
great. Now, taking it, just a step back, you are
Mhm.
into the software development side of things, but what actually, can you kind of like share your journey into tech and what originally inspired you to pursue software development or computer science? Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. If I can be honest, can I be honest?
Yes, please.
I had no aspirations, whatever, in terms of computer science or being part of tech. I knew that I was in grade 11 and it was time to apply for varsity. Yes, I did have things that I wish or aspired to be growing up. For instance, I wanted to be an astronaut. At some point, I wanted to be a pharmacist. At some point, I wanted to be a vet. So I was kind of all over the place. But
Yeah.
luckily for me, when I applied to varsity using my grade 11 results, I was like, okay, what do we qualify for? And I saw that, okay, computer science and mathematics might be interesting. So I went that route. And luckily for me, I got accepted. And mind you, I had no background of IT or any technical subjects in high school. I only did physics, life science, and math as the science subjects. Normally,
Yeah.
people that venture into computer science or IT have some technical background, but that's all I had. So, literally, on my first day of varsity, the only thing I knew how to do was play music with my laptop.
Okay.
Literally. And when I heard of a coding language or a programming language, I was like, what is that?
Mhm.
But fast forward, yeah, I completed my degree 3 years later at the NW. That's a great university. I think it gave me a great foundation in terms of theoretical background and what it really takes to build a product and things like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I graduated in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. Then I got my first job as a junior developer, and yeah, it's been a journey since then. Um, I think I was in a learning phase. I was still discovering myself and also getting to discover my passions and what I love. Yes, I was in tech, but was I really into tech? But I think one thing that I've taken was that you really need to push yourself in order to get to a place where you want. Take a lot as you can from where you are currently. So I did my best in terms of learning what I could at that point in terms of, okay, this is the coding languages that we need to learn so that we can make this product work. This is the kind of businesses processes involved and whatnot. So it's been an interesting journey, but I'm glad that we got to where we are today.
Yeah. Nah,
Yeah.
inspiring indeed. I hope, the audience will be inspired as well, eh? So it seems like you and I, we share, we have some
Hmm.
similarities here and there because I never, plan to be into, the tech
Yeah.
side of things as well. I wanted to do
Mhm.
astronomy, so yeah, but how was the experience? You are a junior developer. How was the
Mhm.
experience? Like straight out of university and you're a junior developer.
I'm not going to lie, it was wild. For me, it was really wild because I'm just a baby from varsity graduating 21, 22, and then you're thrown into a huge code base where you have to understand, first of all, business processes before we even get to the code base itself. But it built me, I'm not gonna lie, it almost broke me, but it built me. I think
Yeah,
that's development on its own. You're gonna have imposter syndromes where you feel like you don't know anything that you're doing, but I strived and I had good leaders in my first job. I really had good team leads, good technical leads, and a good support structure. And
mhm,
it kind of highlighted the importance of collaboration and working as a team because ideal in varsity, you're just trying to make it and get your degree and go out. But in a workplace, you actually collaborate and work with others towards the same goals, which is building a product that's suitable for our clients. So my first work experience was it was like I was a diamond in the making of some sort. It was breaking, but yet building at the same time. I
yeah,
think it allowed me to also have a peek into the kind of things that really shake and move my heart. That's where I got to discover my passions because then you were exposed to multiple roles in a team. Someone was a business analyst, one was a developer, one was a technical lead, one was a product owner, one was you get exposed to different roles in a department or in a company where you get to actually make a decision in terms of, is this really where I want to be? Is this really where I see myself in the next 5 to 10 years to 20 years? So I'm actually grateful for that kind of exposure. Yes, I did learn a lot from tech and it is the future. So kudos to software developers by
yeah.
passion. You guys deserve a big ups. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Mm.
I mean, there's a great saying that, what doesn't break you builds you,
Mm.
right? So with all that pressure,
Definitely.
indeed, you are a diamond because with all that pressure, yeah,
Yeah.
you manage to blossom at the end of the day. So, okay. And
Yeah.
then, yeah. So I would say that's basically, you being exposed to different departments is what inspired you or motivated your transition from software development to client side roles, right?
Mm.
No, okay.
Yes. It's
Oh,
that exposure that helped me kind of understand what the roles or what each roles entails of and how really you as a person blends into a certain role or a certain profession. For
mm,
instance, for me, yes, I was a software developer, but at heart, I wasn't really that passionate. Then I look at other developers. Some developers are so passionate, you can see it in their eyes when they're coding. And it's so
mm,
inspiring to see because I was like, I want to look back or be in a job that allows me to be that passionate about what I'm doing. So I was really inspired to actually go and find out and go after what my heart really wants and what I stand for as an
yeah,
individual. So yeah, it's beautiful to see.
yeah. No, no,
Yeah.
that's great. And
Mm.
could you explain what client side roles typically involve and probably share some of the key challenges you encountered during
Mm.
this career shift?
So the client side of the business usually involves when requirements are given. Okay, so normally it flows down. We have a product that's built to solve a certain problem, right? But now how
Okay.
do we get this product? This product has to now have specifications in terms of, okay, we want this kind of, let's say we want a banana, but then we
Yeah.
want this banana to be yellow, we want it to have certain kind of texture, we want it to have whatnot. Those kind of specifications now need to roll down and drop into the other roles so that we build this kind of banana. So now we have, okay, the product owners, which relay these requirements to now business analysts.
Mm,
Business analysts kind of gather the requirements, get
yeah.
understanding of the products and the features that I needed. Be like, okay, we need this banana, but then we don't want it to peel off. We want it that kind of banana. How do we now explain that kind of product to now the people that are going to implement and build it, which is now
Yeah.
the developers or the technical people? It rolls down to the developers. They're going to build this banana however the specifications say. Then it's going to be tested. Does it do this? Does it do that? That now involves the test analysts or the quality assurers. But yeah, that's kind of the process. And then, yeah, it depends. And if I would say my challenges in terms of transitioning from the technical side of things into the client side of things was when I realized that relationships are so important. Your clients need to be able to trust you that you are going to fulfill their needs within the product. You need to be able to build relationships in such a way that they can trust you with what they need as a company. Remember, it's a whole company relaying their certain needs to you, and you need to be able to relay that to now your team of developers or something like this. So client relationships are so important. You need to be able to articulate yourself so that you're clear to your clients and the developers as well, so that they build the kind of banana that's important or usable by the clients. So it's sort of like taking user experience and making sure that you're building a scalable and maintainable product that will help the company essentially. So it's quite a diverse role, and I think it gels well with personality as well. If you're a person that likes interacting with people, sure, go for it. But
Yeah.
then for me, it kind of I think it's working well because I have a technical background and an interest in client, yeah, related stuff. So it's quite working well together.
Great. Great. And
Yeah.
yeah, there's also like, a myth that people in tech, they don't have like good, interpersonal skills. I mean, I tend to disagree because I mean, look at me. I'm on social media and all that, and you find most
Um,
software developers or software engineers, they are also on social media nowadays. But yes, you find those, other people, they are just, stuck to their laptops throughout the day and they don't interact with people that much. But
Mhm.
you've actually answered, a question I was about to ask, or what's actually the difference between, client um, side roles and a business analyst. But then it seems like, yes, there is a difference. I kind of like thought it's the same thing, but okay. Is it the same thing though?
So client side roles like an umbrella we use to describe the roles under the non-technical side of things, the business side of things.
All
That would
right.
include your product owners, your business
Analyst.
analysts,
Oh,
your yeah, the management and this is what we need kind of stuff. The business related roles, yeah. And then on
oh,
your technical or it's the client side and then the technical side. That's another umbrella. That's where you have your developers, your testers, your quality assurers, your take leads and whatnot. Then we have, a whole structure that covers these two umbrellas just to make sure that they work well together. You would have things like your technical lead, which would make sure that the architecture supports the user experience as well as the developers in the making of the product. So, yeah.
yeah. Okay, so now since you've been exposed to like the development side of it, because I
Yeah.
heard from, one YouTuber who's a software engineer. What's the relationship between quality assurers and software developers or software engineers when
That's
it
a
comes?
very important relationship, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah. So, for instance, it's like let's use the banana again. I feel like it's a simple example. We're given a product requirement or rather a requirement from business. Our business analyst tells us, hey, we have this banana we need to build. It needs to look like this and this and that. Cool. Then the developer takes on the project, builds the banana, but now they need to make sure that it works before it goes back to business and the stakeholders. So now
yeah,
who steps in? The testers and the quality assurers step in such a way that they make sure that if they peel this banana backwards, it doesn't move, or if they do this, it doesn't. If they smash it, it doesn't
yeah,
go out or something like that. Yeah. So testers are essentially there to ensure that developers build reliable and strong products. They test it and try to break your code, but then as much as it's not nice having a back and forth
yeah,
between a tester and developer. It's needed. It's very much
yeah.
needed because when it gets to the client, it needs to be perfect. Although there'll be glitches, acceptable glitches in a system, but it needs to be workable. So
Mhm.
it's a really good relationship. Can get personal sometimes, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's needed.
yeah. That's how I was going with the question, eh? That's how I was actually.
Yeah,
And thank you for that insight, eh? Because now, you've actually produced this product, and then probably yeah, you've deployed it, and then maybe you're saying, okay, now I need to rest. It's a day off
yeah,
for me. You then get, messages that, "Ish, okay, there's a bug over there." So that's what I was yeah leaning towards too. But yeah, okay, if it's a
yes.
good relationship, then yeah, that's good, eh? But
It would give one sleepless nights. I think
yeah.
that's one of the struggles I had personally as a developer. You have
Mm,
days where you develop, you go full in, you log in, develop, develop, develop. You give it over to the tester for testing. You think you're gonna rest. No, ma'am, they're gonna find problems and bugs that you have to fix again. So you're gonna have to go back and relook at the code, redeploy again, testing again. Is it working fine? Cool, it's working fine. Now let's take it through for sign off. And then once it gets sign off, then it can go to the client. So yeah, it's quite heated, but it's interesting. You need to be curious enough to actually be good at what you do, I would say.
okay. And
Yeah.
also, I know that, bugs, they differ, but then
Mhm.
what's the longest you've spent trying to resolve a single bug? Yeah,
I think max 3 days because
yeah,
now we're working as a team. They won't allow you to spend a whole week trying to resolve a bug. That's money and that's time. So you
yeah,
need to be smart about it. So obviously you would try to resolve it on your own. You go back
okay.
home with a bug, it's not nice because you're gonna have a sleepless night,
Mm,
cross-nighting trying to debug, right?
Yeah.
Night one of debugging was not successful. You still decide to keep quiet. That's why they encourage open and clear communication amongst the team so that we can resolve bugs easier and quicker and whatnot. But your ego probably sometimes like it does get in the way and you would take longer to resolve a bug. And it's a whole thing until you finally give up and be like, you know what? I'm struggling with this. Can you help me out? Am I missing something? So I found that it's actually much quicker to do your work as
A
like as soon
team.
as possible so that you can catch bugs quicker.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, catch bugs quicker and call them out quickly. If you see something not making sense for half an hour, don't sit with it for an hour or another 2 hours. Speak to someone else. You might get insight from them. They've probably dealt with it or they're thinking of another approach. So, yeah, it's a quite sensitive thing, but you learn as you go.
Yeah, and I would
Yeah.
say that's something that we mostly struggle with, eh? As a
Mm-hmm.
programmer myself, yeah, I know that that's one thing that I struggle with at times, but team, collaboration and teamwork is important.
Yeah.
So first semester, what we used to do for our practicals, we would have our practicals for like 3 hours from 8 up until 11, right? And then after our practicals, we would meet in the library. So we'd book like a conference room with, yeah, one of my, yeah, teammates. And yeah, we just, go through the practical again. And it would actually, it made me realize that you get to learn from other people. So having like a
Mm,
know-it-all mindset, it doesn't help. But then if you
yeah.
have like a teamwork mindset, then you're able to like, flourish and yeah, do
Mm,
well eventually. So
mm.
yeah, I guess it
That's
applies there. Yeah, I guess it applies in the work field or the
for
work side of
sure.
things. Yeah.
Mm,
Hence why
mm.
I think I've seen on LinkedIn, one of the requirements is that you need to be a team player. You need to
Yeah.
be able to collaborate. And also they require like a GitHub link. GitHub is mostly for collaboration, right? So I think they
Mm,
also are trying to figure out if you've been collaborating with other people throughout your
mm.
journey in your degree. So, okay. Yeah, I get it.
That
But
is true. That is true.
yeah, and like, how do you balance your technical skills with your growing interest in client science, client experience, and
Mm.
business development? I'm talking about science now, but apologies for that.
No
Yeah,
worries. No worries. I wouldn't use the word balance. I would use the word integrating. So I don't want to balance, but I want to integrate the two. How do
great.
I, yeah, like how do I use product development and integrate it with user experience? So that's
Mm,
currently my role, technical business analyst. I get
yeah,
to understand the needs of the user, understand, okay, this is what they need in the system, this is what they want to get out of the system. Now, with a
mm,
technical background, how do I make that happen? Is it scalable? Is it realistic enough? So I now need to go back and come up with solutions that would allow the system to be flexible enough or stretch enough to get a certain feature in. So it's
yeah,
more like integrating the two. Yeah. So I would say I'm not totally on client side like you're mentioning. So I do develop from time to time. I would say 50% of my time I do develop. So I feel like that keeps me on my feet as well and intact with my technical side. So when
yeah.
it feels like it's dying out, I get back on again with another project and yeah, it's fun like that, I think. And it makes the client side a bit more understanding of okay, this is how long a feature would take to get in or whatnot, if they have someone technical in the team to sort of like guide them, engage them in the right direction, I think.
Oh, yeah. Okay. And
Yeah.
also, like when you were in the development side of it, have you ever deployed a project that eventually crashed, uh, like on arrival, on like when the
Mm.
client got the project? Have you ever experienced that?
Listen, multiple times, and that experience will break you,
No.
but you need to come back from it. So, yeah, what normally would happen was that we would have deployments, and they would host deployments weekly, right? Let's reference my first company because that's where I was fully developing and whatnot.
Yeah.
Deployments weekly and whatnot. Come deployment night, a developer gets assigned to, let's say, as backup in case something crashes. Then,
No.
if you are the developer on standby and something crashes, it's
Yeah.
going down. People are waking up. We're trying to fix the code. We're trying to see what's wrong, whatnot. Then the next morning, we're trying to, it's basically fixing the bug. And yeah, it was an experience, but it is, yeah, thrilling. If you have, it has a lot of adrenaline. But yeah, it was quite an experience. I enjoyed it, to be honest. As much as it was overwhelming and whatnot. It was a learning experience, I would say.
Okay. And then
Yeah.
besides the cross nighting, what would be the repercussions for having like a project that crashes out when it reaches the client?
Obviously, if something crashes out and now it's already by the client's hands or it's in production, I would say,
Yeah.
everything halts, everything stops. We need to fix this bug. We need to make sure that, okay, in the meanwhile, while we're fixing this bug, what are we doing in order to have, they call it a workaround. Do we have a workaround around this issue? Can we maybe get to a certain feature without having to use it? Can we get to a certain or retrieve something from the system that we wanted or that's crashing without having to actually use this feature that's making the system crash? So we need to make sure that we have a workaround until the bug is fixed. And then that would normally take like, it's advised to take a shorter amount of period trying to resolve such a big bug,
Okay.
maybe a couple of hours to a day max. Yeah.
All
And then obviously now the rest of your projects move up in terms of deadlines because there was now something that came in. And that's where agility comes in, I think. If you're able to code on the go, fix on the go, don't just stick to deadlines and this is what I'm supposed to. Yes, it's good. Deadlines are very good and for structured programming, but then agility is important as well.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now no repercussions from the company to the developer.
You mean repercussions like that? Let me
Yeah.
think of it.
Or
Um, Maybe it would give you a certain, I don't know, man, but I feel like we work as a team, you know? You're not referred to as just
what?
one person. So it's
No.
the whole team that takes the fall for it. Yeah. I think
Yeah.
that's the mm,
No.
it's a team
But
effort, so it's a team fail.
yeah, but you've never maybe had the, harsh part of it.
I mean, I think it's always avoided to try and point it to someone else. Yes, there were some bugs or some crashes that I was responsible for because I'm the one that pushed maybe the night before or something. And
Yeah.
it also shows in the logs that, okay, Lindiwe actually was the last one to deploy it, and this is where it's breaking. And these are the kind of files that she updated. So it's breaking on her code. Yes, we would point you out that, okay, it's Lindiwe that broke the code, but then is she doing something to fix it? And then at the end of the day, I don't think they usually avoid pointing one person, but a whole team becomes responsible because then it trickles down. How did it miss testers? How did it miss sign off? Because essentially you built it, yes, it break, but then it had to go through a couple of people before it got to a point where the client got a hold of it, right?
Yeah.
So that's now why the whole team is accountable.
No. Okay. No, that makes
Mm.
sense. At least they are not as harsh.
That
Yeah.
shouldn't be as harsh. Otherwise, yeah, you will be having bad thoughts.
No. Okay. Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
yeah, what kind of roles or projects are you currently exploring in your career?
So I have professional and personal roles I'm currently wanting to explore, get into, no? When it
Mhm.
comes to professionally, I think at this point, I'm at a point where I'm aspiring to be a technical lead because listen,
Yeah.
integrating software development and client side experiences is, I think, at the heart of me right now. And I think it would be good to have like using having strategic impact on the kind of development that's done to bring the user exactly what they've done. And this would now involve overseeing developers and overseeing developers and making sure that they understand the kind of product that they're building or the kind of feature that they're building. And then this would now, it's more like coordinating a team. I enjoy coordinating. So
Mm.
professionally, that's what I'm aspiring to, pushing towards. And personally, I have some social and community development projects that I think I would like to work on. Currently in the planning phase, but yeah, I think I would love to have a platform where there's a couple of upcoming youth that would love to push in terms of their careers. And yeah, just having a community that's more aware of what's out there, giving community more perspective,
Yeah.
and to see that this is not it that we see in front of us. Yes, we might live in this kind of community, but there's still a world out there. So I think I would love to be that person that reaches out to them and just takes them out of that, yeah, the hole, I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
And and
Mm.
then also like, how does your typical day look like? Like it's during the week, you're not
Yeah.
working from home, you're going to the office. How does it look like? Just,
Well,
for the
fortunately for me at the moment, I'm fully remote. So I work from home every day.
Oh, okay.
And yeah, it's nice. My only challenge is that I need to balance it with being outside. Yes, I'm an introvert. I enjoy being indoors, coding, talking to clients and whatnot, but it needs to be balanced with going outside, maybe working at different locations and whatnot. So on a daily, I would probably wake up. And if I go to gym, go to gym. And then
Yeah.
from 8 to 12, work, meetings and whatnot, stand up. That's what we have as, yeah, in the technical side, we have stand up where we catch up on your projects and see if deadlines are being met, what's the problems that are being experienced and whatnot. After stand up, then we have a time that's dedicated to now working on those projects. Work on those projects, give feedback. If you're a developer, push your code and make sure that everything works fine. Coming to me, I'll make sure that the clients are happy on their side. And if there are any issues that are resolved, if there's any requirements to be gathered, we gather them. If there's any meetings to be had to clear out something, we do have them. Then it's lunchtime. Then after lunchtime, I would like to dedicate that to catching up on some coding projects that I would be assisting with or something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's been an interesting change of routine, I would say, working from home fully.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
Mm.
happy with it so far. It's quite flexible. I
Yeah.
think I would have, yeah, more time to put in other and invest in other things.
No, yeah.
But that is me.
Yeah, surely that
Mm.
requires a lot of discipline, eh?
It does.
Yeah.
Imagine waking up and you can watch TV instead of working.
Yeah. But nowadays
Mhm.
you need to give feedback, so eventually you'll have,
Exactly, exactly.
yeah. No, okay.
Mm.
And then
Yeah.
like I just wanna understand something from your experience. What advice would you give to computer science students or junior developers preparing to enter the tech field?
I would say number one, I feel like this is the advice I wish I had received myself. Be curious about every single thing because that makes a good developer. If you are curious about why do we need this in this code or why is that line of code there, if you're able to explain your code, then you've got everything you need to debug and build a really reliable product. So be curious. Number two, go after your dreams. I think as youth, this is really the prime time of our lives where we get to explore, where we get to develop ourselves. So do go after what your heart desires or whatnot. Yes, you're going to make mistakes along the way, but mistakes are mistakes. You learn from them, you grow and whatnot. And yeah. And lastly, I would say, I think there's a quote I remember from my high school teacher who passed away, Mr. Ngaleka. He would always say, where there's a will, there's a way. So definitely, if you're willing enough, you will get what you want against
Definitely.
all odds. So yeah,
No,
that's what I would tell them.
yeah. Thank you on their
Yeah.
behalf, eh? I mean, I'm also a student, so I'm taking those into, yeah,
Yeah,
tell them.
I'm glad. I'm glad.
Yeah. Surely you can tell, yeah, by the facial expression, like I'm just inspired, eh? I'm definitely
Mhm.
inspired. Yeah.
I'm
Now,
happy to do that.
yeah, how do you perceive platforms like podcasts, for instance, Tech Talk Weekly with a computer science major, LinkedIn and other digital content on shaping careers and building personal brands within the tech industry?
I would say for me, what matters most is the intention behind it. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
Once you start something, or let's say a digital platform, what's your intention behind it? Is it to reach a certain community and make a difference? Sometimes, yes, it's to monetize it, but when the money's not coming in, are you still gonna push? You're gonna be demotivated. So
yeah,
I think what's really big is having the drive from within to actually push that kind of project. And yes, that kind of content does reach, let's say, people that are less knowledgeable on certain topics or certain industries get to hear about or get perspective and insight about them from such platforms. So they do really matter, especially in such a digitalized world, an AI driven world. Everything we listen to really does go into us and we somehow engrave it into us and people are not aware of that, but that's actually happening. So these platforms do really have a big impact on the upcoming youth and the youth and everyone beyond. So I am a big advocate of such platforms that help people move from one point to another. I think, yeah, I would say that.
no, yeah, and then
Mm.
just for fun. Okay.
True.
So I'm curious, right? Who is your favorite tech inventor and what is it about them or their work that inspires you the most?
I would say it's Mr. Said, the Chief Data Officer of Capitec. I recently attended an AWS summit in Santon where he got to explain to us how the product actually got inspired and whatnot.
Yeah,
He says that it aims to reach communities that are less developed and with less opportunities. And if you look at it, Capitec is literally used by or can be used by anyone and everyone else. So I love the fact that it somehow allows the less advantaged people to have or access the same opportunities as the middle class as well. So I think
mhm,
that's one thing that I really took from it is to
yeah,
create a product that's inclusive of everyone. Don't try to exclude a certain group of people or whatnot. If anything, try to bring them up and build a society and develop it. So I would say it's Mr. What's his name again? Mr.
that's
Azar Said. Yeah,
that's it.
I
Yeah,
think.
all right.
Mm.
Yeah, no, that's great. That is great. Eh? And if you're comfortable sharing this, because yeah, this can be a bit personal. Are there
Yeah.
any tech companies that particularly inspire you? I mean, you've already mentioned, Mr. Sahid from Capitec,
Mm.
or where you see yourself contributing in the future. Please, feel free to skip this question if, yeah, you're not comfortable sharing.
I don't have particular companies in mind,
Mm-hmm.
but I think any companies that relate to yes, there's product development, yes, there's digitalizing the world, but are we really having an impact on society? I feel like I'm very intention driven. I want purposeful stuff. I want uplifting others. So if it's a company that's related to such, then I'm all for it. But professionally speaking, I would probably name one of the biggest companies, but that wouldn't come from my heart. So I feel like as a person, I am really passionate about uplifting the community and the society that we live in. I like seeing all of us achieving our goals. So a company that's definitely society driven.
Yeah, no,
I'm not sure which one it is yet, especially in South Africa. It might be out there in the world, yeah, or I might be founding it soon. I don't know. It's a
yeah.
question.
And
Yeah.
because I mean I was part of Enactors, right?
Mhm.
Last year the champions for Enactors South Africa, they were from Enactors UWC. So they
Mhm.
have, two enterprises actually. It's WebMax. So WebMax is a software development company. It was established by students, and students are working there immediately after they are done with their
Oh,
qualification.
nice. Mhm.
Yeah, so they developed an application called Leno Kids. So the intention behind the application is that they did research and they found out that grade four learners, they don't read for meaning, they are just reading. So
Hmm.
the learners who are like in grade four, they don't normally read for meaning, they are just reading
You're
because
right.
yeah, the misunderstanding of English, or maybe their capacity levels for like
Mhm.
English. So yeah, that application is just to teach learners English and all that, but it's extremely interactive. You can
Oh,
check it out.
nice.
Yeah, they even have like a WhatsApp chat bot. They have an application. So yeah, I was just inspired. I attended the Nation House last year, so yeah, they
I
even
love
went
it.
through. Yeah, because with Enactors, you go to compete
Mhm.
worldwide. You compete worldwide. So
Isn't it?
yeah, so yeah,
Hmm. That's
Lindiwe,
lovely.
yeah. Thank you so much for coming today. I really appreciate the time that you took just to be part of Tech Talk Weekly with a computer science major. Any last words?
Um, go after your dreams. That's all I have to say. Life is too short. But yeah, thanks for having me, Mohau. Honored to be part of your platform. And yeah, I hope that it grows and it reaches the audience that it needs to reach.
Yeah, yeah, thank
Mm.
you.
Brought to you by Royal Mercy Institute.